permission, on behalf of my colleague Shri Ajay Bhatt ji, I rise to lay the papers listed against his name and serial number 1E in today's list of business.
श्री पंकज चौधरी
महोदय, मैं अपने वरिष्ठ सहयोगी श्रीमती निर्मला सीतारमण की ओर से व्याख्यात्मक ज्ञापन सहित वित्त मंत्रालय राजस्व विभाग की निम्नलिखित अधिसूचनाओं की एक प्रति भाग 1, भाग 2 प्रस्तुत करता हूँ।
रिपोर्ट ऑफ द डिपार्टमेंट रिलेटेड पार्लियामेंट्री स्टैंडिंग कमेटी ऑन एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स श्री प्रकाश जावड़ेकर, श्री अशोक कुमार मित्तल,
आगे होगी चालू।
I rise to lay on table a copy in English and Hindi of the 21st report of the Department Related Parliamentary Standing Committee on External Affairs, 17th Lok Sabha, on action taken by the government on the observations, recommendations contained in its 15th report on welfare of Indian diaspora policy
2
scheme.
p.m. today.
Alright, so both houses of the parliament have been adjourned yet again as ruckus continues. Most importantly, how the opposition is once again raising slogans on the floor of the house, demanding a joint parliamentary committee probe into the Adani issue. This has been a persisting matter as the opposition continues to raise this every single time, but most importantly, how it has been disrupting the business of the house, and once again similar scenes that are being witnessed this Monday morning as both houses of the parliament have been adjourned. The opposition also held a key strategy meet about an hour ago, and as we've been hearing a lot of responses from opposition parties who have been demanding a joint parliamentary committee probe as they have been raising slogans against the centre over the Adani issue, alleging that Adani works hand in glove with the centre and that the centre goes all out to support Adani. But once again, you see how business on the floor of the house stands affected as this has quite been the pattern this parliament session, where indiscipline has been witnessed on a very regular basis, and once again the logjam in the parliament continues. And we are cutting across to what is happening in Bihar as tensions continue to simmer. This is in the backdrop of the Ram Navami clashes and the subsequent violence. Another bomb blast has been reported in Sasaram. Reports suggest that no casualties have been reported, and police teams conducted a flag march in a bid to restore peace in the area. Those are the scenes that are underway in Bihar, where there was a flash blast in Sasaram as security has been beefed up, and not only the local police personnel but even paramilitary forces that are on the ground. This, of course, as we saw that fiery speech by Union Home Minister Amit Shah, who spoke from Bihar and condemned the state of affairs in Sasaram, also calling the Nitish government inefficient and incapable. We also saw that retort of the political turnout as JDU also held a news conference soon after hitting out at the Home Minister. But all is not well in Sasaram as there has been a fresh blast.
हाँ, ड्यूटी में हम वहीं पर आदमी के द्वारा पता चला कि कुछ आवाज़ सुना, तो वहाँ पर गए स्थल पर देखने को पता चला कि वहाँ पर पटाखा आवाज़ और कोई विशेष बात नहीं।
Alright, we're trying to cut into the live proceedings that are underway in the Bihar Assembly, and we'll also get you those latest pictures in just a short while from now. Meanwhile, really a sense of the state of affairs prevailing in Sasaram as another fresh blast has been reported. And you see how there is a lot of ruckus in the Bihar Assembly once again over what has happened in Sasaram.
अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं घटना स्थल पर भी गया था और वहां महोदय दंगाई लोग प्रधानमंत्री का वो अपने टी शर्ट में फोटो छपा करके पूरे बिहार के मुसलमानों को लूटने का काम किया महोदय। और सुनियोजित ढंग से एक ने पूरे कम से कम 100 संख्यक के दुकानों को सिर्फ लूटा गया है और ये आग लगा दिया गया महोदय। और महोदय जो सत्यदेव राम महोदय, हम सरकार से मांग करते हैं महोदय कि बिहार में मुश्किल से 1000 दंगाई है महोदय। सरकार उन्हें 1000 दंगाइयों को गिरफ्तार करके तरीके से हो रहा है महोदय। और ये भारत जनता पार्टी ने पूरी साजिश करके पूरी योजना बना करके बिहार को अशांत किया है, सरकार को अशांत किया है महोदय। अजीत कुमार, माननीय सदस्य अजीत कुमार, अजय कुमार, माननीय सदस्य।
माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय, आज पिछले दिनों 3 रामनवमी के दिन से पूरे बिहार के अंदर सुनियोजित तरीके से आरएसएस विश्व हिंदू परिषद के लोग दंगा करवा रहे हैं और एक तरफा जो है जो दंगा करवाते हैं वही पूरे बिहार के अंदर घूम घूम करके ये बात बताते हैं कि सरकार पोषित दंगा हो रहा है। जी नहीं, बिहार को जलाने की कोशिश आरएसएस के लोग कर रहे हैं और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग मुखौटा बन करके ये सामने खड़ा है। इसलिए आरएसएस के ऊपर पूरी प्रतिबंधित होना चाहिए और सुनियोजित तरीके से जिन लोगों ने दंगा करवाया चिन्हित करके उसको गिरफ्तार करके बंद के माध्यम से हम ये मांग करते हैं। महोदय
शकील खान, माननीय सदस्य बोलिए।
महोदय, पूरे बिहार की सरकार को, पूरे बिहार के सामाजिक न्याय और धर्मनिरपेक्ष सरकार को बदनाम करने के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी इसको विचारधारा समाज के सद्भावना को बिगाड़ना चाहती है। ये हमने इनका पैटर्न हर जगह देखा है। बिहार में जब इनको मुंह की खानी पड़ रही है, बिहार के तमाम अलायंस पार्टनर्स मजबूती के साथ बिहार सरकार को अमन चैन के साथ चलाना चाहते हैं। तो ये उपद्रवी लोग यहाँ पर अपनी बात कहते हैं। मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि जो भाषा गृह मंत्री ने कहा है, जिस भाषा का इस्तेमाल किया है, वो भाषा कंडेमनेबल है। वो बदले की बात कहते हैं। ये बदले की भावना सद्भावना की बात नहीं है। इस जगह सद्भावना की बात होनी चाहिए, सद्भावना की बात नहीं होनी चाहिए। ये मैं कहना चाहता हूँ।
पासवान, माननीय सदस्य सूर्यकांत पासवान। अध्यक्ष महोदय, मैं सदन को बताना चाहता हूँ कि चाहे वो चैती दुर्गा हो या रामनवमी हो, इस अवसर पर भाजपा और आरएसएस के गुंडों के द्वारा महोदय बिहार के अंदर इसकी न्यायिक, इसकी उच्च स्तरीय जांच हो और दंगाइयों को महोदय जेल के सलाखों के अंदर बंद करने की कृपा की जाए महोदय, यही मुझे कहना है। माननीय सदस्य अपना अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। अख्तरुल इमाम साहब 1 मिनट में।
अध्यक्ष महोदय, जो घटना पुरुषोत्तम राम जी के जन्म दिन के अवसर पर यहाँ पर किया है वो बीजेपी के फालतू गुंडों ने किया है और हमारी मस्जिद तोड़ी गई, मस्जिद का मीनारा तोड़ा गया, मदरसे जलाए गए, धार्मिक ग्रंथ जलाए गए, 40 से ज्यादा दुकानों को लूट लिया गया है और 31 तारीख की घटना हुई, फिर 1 तारीख को दंगा भड़काया गया। महोदय, इस लोगों पर लगाम लगाई जाए, पाबंदी लगाई जाए और सरकार से मैं मुतालबा करता हूँ कि जिनकी क्षति हुई है उनका मुआवजा दे। 1 तारीख को घटना क्यों घटी उसका जवाब दे और अकलियत की जान माल इज्जत आबरू खतरे में है महोदय, इज्जत आबरू खतरे में है। हमारा चलना फिरना मुश्किल हो गया है, हमारी मस्जिद भी नहीं है।
राजेश गुप्ता जी, विधायक
सासाराम में जो दंगा कराया गया है कुछ खास लोगों का प्लानिंग के साथ ये काम कराया गया है। ना वहां के कोई हिंदू किया है ना मुसलमान किया है। और ये दंगाई लोग जो व्यवसायियों के दुश्मन है, पैसों के दुश्मन है, लोग कहते हैं कि हम
स्थान ग्रहण कीजिए,
उसकी जांच कराया जाए।
माननीय सदस्य शाहीन साहब।
अध्यक्ष महोदय, जहां जहां भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी कमजोर पड़ती है उस राज्यों में ये दंगा कराने का काम करती है। पूरी तरह से दावे के साथ कर सकते हैं बिहार सरकार जांच करे, जितने भी भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग हैं, इनसे जुड़े हुए 2-4 संगठन के लोग हैं, पूरे देश में, पूरे बिहार में लगातार दंगा कराने का काम करते हैं। हम सदन के माध्यम से मांग करते हैं कि वैसे संगठन जो समाज में नफरत फैलाते हैं, दंगा फसाद कराते हैं, उन पर प्रतिबंध लगाया जाए, उनके खिलाफ सख्त से सख्त कार्रवाई किया जाए। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी अमित शाह जी का आगमन हुआ था, उसी के एक योजनाबद्ध तरीके से भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोगों ने बिहार का वातावरण खराब करने का काम किया है।
श्री जितेंद्र कुमार नालंदा, श्री जितेंद्र कुमार माननीय सदस्य।
महोदय,
बोलिए,
जो भी किया गया है
1 मिनट में।
एक भाजपा का सोची समझी साजिश है और इसमें न हिंदू का कोई मसला है न मुस्लिम का, ये सब सुनियोजित तरीके से किया गया है और ये बौखलाए हुए हैं, परेशान हैं कि इनका जनमत घट रहा है और बेचैन होकर इस घटना को अंजाम देते हैं। इसलिए महोदय, ऐसे दंगाइयों पर सख्त कार्रवाई की जाए और ये बीजेपी और उनके द्वारा जो किए गए कार्य हैं बहुत घृणित कार्य हैं, इनको विकास आदि से कोई लेना देना नहीं है। अतः महोदय, ऐसे लोगों पर, ऐसे लोगों पर और दंगा फसाद करने पर कार्रवाई की जाए।
बोलने की इजाजत नहीं दी जाएगी। आपके नेता प्रतिपक्ष को कहा गया, उन्होंने अपने पक्ष को रखा है। अब स्थान आप माननीय सदस्य बेल वाले आप स्थान ग्रहण करें। अब सभा की कार्रवाई 2 बजे दिन तक के लिए स्थगित की जाती है।
All right, so you see the kind of ruckus that is unfolding in the Bihar Assembly, where it is the blast in Sasaram that is once again the talk, and most importantly the violence that is being witnessed in the state of Bihar. A huge showdown that you see where the AIMIM is also going on to blame the center, I beg your pardon, the ruling party for the violence, and it is a huge face-off now between the BJP and the JDU. We continue to get you all the very latest on that. For the moment, we also shift our focus to the other top stories we are tracking for you this Monday morning. BJP launches a scathing attack on Congress leader Rahul Gandhi as the latter is going to Surat today challenging his conviction in the defamation case. While addressing a news briefing, Sambit Patra stated that Rahul Gandhi has insulted the OBC community and his visit is only going to augment their wounds.
कि आपने ओबीसी के लिए आपत्तिजनक शब्द का प्रयोग किया, उन्हें अपमानित किया, और अब यह आपकी धृष्टता है। आप सोच के देखिए, आप सूरत में जाकर आज गुजरात में जले में घी और कटे में नमक डालने का काम करना चाहते हैं। ये ओबीसी समाज के प्रति उनको जिस प्रकार से आपने गाली देने का काम किया है, द वे यू हैव अब्यूज्ड द ओबीसी कम्युनिटी।
Another bomb blast rocked Bihar's Sasaram area in the early hours of the morning, where amid the ongoing violent clashes, 5 people were severely injured in an explosion that took place on the 1st of April. The incident happened at around 4 in the morning when the bomb hit the top of the house in Rohtas district. No casualties have been reported so far. DCW has launched an inquiry into repeated cases of sexual harassment with girls during college fests and summons Delhi Police and Delhi University officials to appear before the Commission with details of guidelines and systems that they have built to ensure such cases will not happen in the future. Chennai Police informed that it arrested Kalkshetra Professor Hari Padman following the complaint of sexual harassment from a former student. Adyar Women Police filed an FIR in the Kalakshetra sexual harassment case on Friday. Now, according to the Chennai police officials, Professor Hari Padman was booked under 3 sections of the Women Harassment Act. King of Bhutan, Jigme Khesar Namgyel Wangchuk will officially visit India from the 3rd of April till the 5th of April. Now, according to the Ministry of External Affairs, he will be accompanied by Dr. Tandi Dorji, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and External Trade, and senior officials of the Royal Government of Bhutan. This visit to India comes at the invite of President Draupadi Murmu. West Bengal Governor C.V. Ananda Bose on Sunday assured that culprits who created ruckus during the Shobha Yatra will be arrested. Bose further said that reinforcement rushed to the spot and culprits will be booked tonight itself and put behind bars. Fresh clashes broke out between 2 groups during a Ram Navami procession in West Bengal's Hooghly district on Sunday evening, following which prohibitory orders were imposed and the internet was suspended. BJP MLA from Pursura, Hooghly Biman Ghosh, who has written 2 separate letters to the West Bengal Governor and Union Home Minister seeking intervention and deployment of central forces in the wake of Ram Navami related incidents. Two MLAs of Congress and some leaders of the party were injured on Sunday when a makeshift stage collapsed during a protest in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur district. The party's Chhattisgarh unit chief Mohan Markam escaped unhurt in the incident, while according to eyewitnesses, the stage was overcrowded leading to its collapse. MLAs Shailesh Pandey and Rashmi Singh and some other party leaders suffered minor injuries in the incident. Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik is scheduled to start his week-long official tour to Japan today. Now, according to the officials, the trip is to attract investments to the state. Naveen, who will lead a 35-member high-level delegation, including government officials and industrialists, is scheduled to return here on the 11th of April. And we cut across to breaking news coming in. Judicial custody of TMC leader Anubrata Mondal, accused in the West Bengal cattle smuggling case, has been extended by 12 days now. Anubrata Mondal's judicial custody has been extended till the 15th of April as per the latest. Delhi's Rouse Avenue Court has extended the judicial custody of Anubrata Mondal. Judicial custody has been extended in the ED case, and there is further trouble for Anubrata Mondal as judicial custody has been extended by 12 days. Kishale is joining me on the broadcast to give us more details of what has transpired in the court. Over to you, Kishale. Kishalay, if you can hear me, please give us details of what transpired in the court and what this means for Anubrata Mondal.
Custody has been extended by the Rouse Avenue Court in Delhi, and this is in the case of cattle smuggling, and ED is especially investigating this case. Anubrata Mondal applied for a bail. However, 12 days custody has been given to Anubrata Mondal. 12 days custody has been extended, and now ED will be looking into the financial matters of this case. ED, according to ED sources, they are looking into the monetary transactions that happened in this case and who all were linked with this case. Also in the same case, Enamul Haq is also in Tihar jail as well, along with Anubrata Mondal. So Anubrata Mondal, Enamul Haq and other accused of this particular case are in Tihar jail, and ED is investigating the case. Now 12 days has been extended in custody till April 15th. Anubrata Mondal will be in ED custody. His custody will be till April 15th in this particular case of cattle smuggling.
All right, Kishalay, many thanks for getting us the latest on this. And moving on, Max Verstappen claimed victory during a wild and action-packed Australian Grand Prix, overcoming battles with the Mercedes drivers, several safety cars and 3 red flags to lead home Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. Take a look at this report.
Red Bull's Max Verstappen has won this year's Formula One Australian Grand Prix for Red Bull in a dramatic race in which 8 drivers failed to finish. Although Red Bull's first triumph in Melbourne since 2011 was expected, the carnage that unfolded in the latter stages of the race at the Albert Park made it an extremely hard-fought triumph.
Yeah, it was very chaotic today, a bit of a mess to be honest. Especially the second red flag, I think that was really unnecessary today. That could have easily been solved with a virtual safety car or a safety car at most. But yeah, we got that red flag, and then you basically create even more trouble because then you go out on very cold tires, the safety car is driving super slow.
This year's Australian Grand Prix pulled a record attendance of over 4 lakh the 4 days at Albert Park. The highest total attendance at an Australian Grand Prix since Melbourne took over the event from Adelaide in 1996. Agency Report, Republic TV.
Moving into a short commercial break. On the other side, getting your details as BJP has taken on Rahul Gandhi in an unrelenting attack, asking if the Gandhis are above the law. And there was an explosion at a cafe in Russia's St. Petersburg. Prominent Russian military blogger has been killed.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Yes. That's Chidambaram right now. He's been Mr. Bhatia, because it was a case I believe that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us from...
एनआईए की टीम बाजे को लेकर यहां पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी नतीजे
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here. Are they trying to stop? Today the whole nation is looking at you. What exactly are your thoughts? Why must
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोग की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena. Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, who is being present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and
troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's me, Chidambaram right now. He's been arrested. Mr. Vazir, because it was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us.
एनआईए की टीम बाजे को लेकर यहां पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी नतीजे
200 to 300 supporters are gathered here at Hadh. They're trying to stop. Today the whole nation is looking at you. What exactly are your thoughts? Why must you?
Hello and welcome. This is live and breaking on Republic TV, and I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. First up, we'll take a look at the top headlines we're tracking here at 11:30. Tensions continue to simmer in Bihar as yet another blast is reported in Sasaram.
नीतीश कुमार के कान को अड़ाए रखिए। नीतीश कुमार का विरोध हमारे सामने कोई करता नहीं, करे तो हम गर्दन में उतार देंगे। इसमें तो
Open threat by Nitish Kumar's Neta says will slit throats of those who oppose him. Disqualified Rahul Gandhi to challenge his conviction. The Congress is asking its cadres to gather.
अपने परिवार वालों के साथ और कुछ मुख्यमंत्रियों के साथ आप आज सूरत जा रहे हैं। क्या आप न्याय प्रक्रिया पर प्रेशर डालना चाहते हैं?
The BJP takes on Rahul Gandhi in an unrelenting attack, asks are the Gandhis above the law. Parliament logjam continues. Opposition holds a key strategy meeting. Explosion at a cafe in Russia's St. Petersburg. Prominent Italian military blogger is killed. But Prime Minister Modi will be inaugurating the Diamond Jubilee celebrations of the CBI at 12 this afternoon. Let's in fact go across to Shavan Sen, who's reporting on this. He is joining us live from New Delhi, and of course the Prime Minister will be also inaugurating the newly constructed office complex of the CBI in Shillong, Pune and Nagpur. Shavan is joining us on the broadcast. Shavan, give us a sense of what we are expecting today. Of course, the Diamond Jubilee celebrations come with the offices also being inaugurated today. Shavan, can you hear me?
Well, in fact, Nupur, this is the beginning of the Diamond Jubilee celebrations of the Central Bureau of Investigation, and in fact, this would also be a Chitran Shivir for the CBI. Prime Minister Narendra Modi would be present, along with him, National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and other top officers of the government would be present. Now, important to point out here is that, remember, for the Central Bureau of Investigation, which has essentially gone through several ups and downs, and this at a time when the opposition is essentially targeted at the Central Bureau of Investigation, with the sole allegation being that only opposition leaders are essentially being targeted by the Central Bureau of Investigation. It would essentially be very important to see how exactly the Prime Minister basically addresses several of the officers and the awardees in this. You have all the top officers of the Central Bureau of Investigation, the state police, and several who are participating in this. So it is going to be important to see what the Prime Minister essentially has to say, the message that he wants to send across. Because remember, the floor of the Parliament, the Prime Minister has essentially backed both the agencies, the Central Bureau of Investigation as well as the Enforcement Directorate, saying that the crackdown on corruption is paramount for this government, and perhaps the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate has been at the forefront of it. Having said that, if you really look at the numbers in terms of the conviction rates, that has been yet another flashpoint and something that has been highlighted by the opposition party. If you look at the conviction rate of the Central Bureau of Investigation starting from the year 2014, it roughly stands about 69% and has been hovering around 65 to 66%. That, if you compare with the other central agency, that is the National Investigation Agency, it is far lower. But having said that, the mandate of these agencies are completely different. Now, what the Central Bureau of Investigation essentially looks at is basically curbing corruption, and that is exactly the focus of their investigation has been. Now, what's important here is that you have a message that is sent across by the Prime Minister in the presence of all top officers. It basically sets the tone for the investigations that have been carried out, and perhaps at a time when these central agencies, have been constantly facing questions by the opposition party, it sometimes becomes even more difficult for the officers to continue with their work, and that it reflects sometimes in the tardy investigation that is carried out. And remember, the courts have also come down heavily on the Central Bureau of Investigation in the past. Not to forget the famed adage of it being a caged parrot, as it was dubbed by Justice Lodha. And thereafter, you have had several other Chief Justices also making a remark on how the central agency has been operating. For instance, it was Justice Ramana who had made this entire point that sometimes the inactions of Central Bureau of Investigation has basically brought down the entire image of the central agency in the eyes of the public, and that is the reason why the challenge is paramount. We have seen in the past also with the former director of the Central Bureau of Investigation washing a dirty linen in public. That too has basically damaged the reputation of the Central Bureau of Investigation. But having said that, remember, over the last few years, what has essentially happened is an attempt that has been made by the Central Bureau of Investigation to keep their investigations non-partisan. And more importantly, they have essentially worked towards ensuring that most of their cases come to a logical conclusion.
Now, also very interesting, the 60th year celebrations come at a time when about 14 opposition parties have also, approached the Supreme Court on this issue of misuse of central probe agencies by the union government. But give us a sense of how difficult it is for the CBI essentially to function, between the back and forth that we see between the government and opposition parties on and off.
Well, in fact, the attempt that has always been made by the investigating officers is to basically remain away from the politics of the day. Because remember, at the end of the day, the Central Bureau of Investigation, even though it is attached to the Home Ministry, they are certainly answerable to the courts, and that is exactly what has been seen in several of the cases that have come up before the court in the last few months. And that is the reason why, perhaps if you see, the Central Bureau of Investigation has always made the attempt to try and at least draw the red line. But having said that, the opposition parties have essentially targeted the Central Bureau of Investigation with the fact that only opposition leaders have essentially been targeted since 2014. But the counter to this entire argument has been seen. If you really look at most of the cases that are being investigated right now, some of these cases have already been registered during the tenure. So to say that this is they're basically acting on their master's voice is perhaps would be really unfair on several of the officers who have been working day and night to ensure that the crackdown on corruption is not a farce.
All right, Shawan Sen, of course, joining us on the broadcast. Thank you for the moment. Shawan will continue to be with us live from Vigyan Bhavan, where we are seeing the Jubilee celebrations take place of the Central Bureau of Investigation. Well, a fresh political face-off has now erupted over violence in Bihar after a showdown inside the Bihar Assembly. Opposition leaders have staged a protest outside the Assembly as well, alleging the collapse of law and order in the state. Now, the BJP, of course, has attacked the Bihar government over the collapse of law and order, saying that the Bihar government has mismanaged the situation, has not been able to get a sense of what's happening in these two districts, which saw violence after Ram Navami procession. Now, just earlier this morning, of course, there was another explosion that was reported from Sasaram in Bihar. Thankfully, nobody was injured in that particular incident. But this is something that has now been raked up in the Bihar Assembly, with the opposition parties, including the BJP, targeting the JDU-RJD combined government over what they say is a collapse in law and order in the state. Now, as far as the situation in Bihar goes, we are told that about 77 people have been arrested in the two districts which have been impacted by the violence in the aftermath of the Ram Navami festival. We are told that, of course, there are Nalanda and Bihar, the Nalanda district, of course, as well as Sasaram, where essentially violence was reported. About 77 people have been arrested so far. Let's go across to Mayank Sinha from the JDU, who joins us on the broadcast. Mayank Sinha, good morning. The charge that the BJP is laying at the doorstep of the JDU essentially is that they haven't been able to tackle the law and order problem, and not just that, also questioning essentially the intent of the government to be able to bring the situation under control. How do you react to that?
The BJP created propaganda. There is, in the first day, I very clear to you and your channel, if there is no 144 imposed in the Sasaram. I talked to the senior SP, Vinit Kumar. If there is imposed in the Sasaram in the section 144. So he said to me, it is totally humor. I also talked to the DM there, and I also talked to DIG. And the SP Vinit Kumar were patrolling the affected localities, issuing appeals for peace. And why the Amit Shah not questioning in the Vadodara incident? There is a government of BJP. It is also in the government in the central. Why he is not questioning in your state, in his own state? Why he questioning before the law and order issues always in the Bihar? There is totally propaganda created by the Amit Shah, because Amit Shah not आपको अमित शाह ने जो वादा किया था, जो प्रॉमिस किया था, लास्ट टाइम ही विजिटेड इन द सासाराम, ही प्रॉमिसेस द पीपल ऑफ सासाराम कि हम एयरपोर्ट देंगे, बट ही इज नॉट फुलफिल द प्रॉमिस. दैट्स व्हाई वहां जो रैली था अमित शाह का, उन्होंने पोस्टपोन किया. हमारे प्रशासन ने 1600 पुलिसकर्मी वहां तैनात थे, 8 डीएसपी तैनात थे, 2 एसपी तैनात थे. ये बीजेपी का प्रोपेगेंडा है बिहार को बदनाम करने के लिए, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को थ्रेट करने के लिए.
जी, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने का. मयंक सिन्हा ओवर देयर फ्रॉम द जेडीयू, एसेंशियली सेइंग दैट दिस इज टारगेटेड प्रोपेगेंडा अगेंस्ट द जेडीयू आरजेडी गवर्नमेंट इन बिहार. And here's a quick look at what else is making news. The BJP has launched a scathing attack on the Congress leader Rahul Gandhi as the latter is on his way to Surat to challenge his conviction in the defamation case. While addressing a press briefing, Shambit Patra said that Rahul Gandhi has insulted the OBC community and his visit is only going to augment their wounds.
कि आपने ओबीसी के लिए आपत्तिजनक शब्द का प्रयोग किया, उन्हें अपमानित किया, और अब यह आपकी धृष्टता है. आप सोच के देखिए, आप सूरत में जाकर आज गुजरात में जले में घी और कटे में नमक डालने का काम करना चाहते हैं. ये ओबीसी समाज के प्रति उनको जिस प्रकार से आपने गाली देने का काम किया है, द वे यू हैव अब्यूज्ड द ओबीसी कम्युनिटी.
Another bomb blast rocked Bihar Sasaram area in the early hours of today amid the ongoing violent clashes there. Now this comes a day after the 5 people were severely injured in an explosion that took place on the 1st of April. The incident took place at around 4 a.m. when the bomb hit the top of the house in Rohtas district. However, no casualties were reported. The DCW has launched an inquiry into repeated cases of sexual harassment with girls during college fests and summons Delhi police and Delhi University officials to appear before the commission with details of guidelines and systems that have been built to ensure that such cases are not repeated. Chennai police have said that it has arrested the Kalakshetra Professor Hari Padman following the complaint of sexual harassment for a former student. Adyar Women Police filed an FIR in the sexual harassment case Friday, according to the Chennai police officials. Professor Hari Padman was booked under 3 sections of the Women's Harassment Act. The King of Bhutan, Jigme Khesar Wangchu, officially visit India from the 3rd of April, which is today, to the 5th of April. According to the Ministry of External Affairs, he will be accompanied by Dr. Tandi Dorji, the Foreign Minister, and the Trade Minister, as well as senior officials of the Royal Government of Bhutan. His visit comes to India as he was invited by the President. West Bengal's Governor C.V. Ananda Bose on Sunday assured that culprits who created ruckus during the Shobha Yatra will be arrested. Bose further said that reinforcements have been rushed to the spot and culprits will be booked tonight itself and put behind bars. Fresh clashes have broken out between 2 groups during a Ram Navami procession in West Bengal's Hooghly district on Sunday evening, following which prohibitory orders were imposed and internet has been suspended. BJP MLA from Pursura, Hooghly, Bhiman Ghosh, has written to 2 separate letters to the West Bengal governor and the Union Home Minister seeking an intervention and deployment of central forces in the wake of Ram Navami related incidents. 2 MLAs of Congress and some leaders of the party were injured Sunday when a makeshift stage collapsed during a protest in Chhattisgarh's Bilaspur district. The party's Chhattisgarh unit chief Mohan Markham escaped unhurt in the incident. According to eyewitnesses, the stage was overcrowded, leading to its collapse. MLA Shailesh Pandey and Rashmi Singh and some other party leaders suffered minor injuries. Odisha's Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik is scheduled to start his week-long official tour to Japan today. According to officials, the trip is to attract investments to the state. Naveen Patnaik, who will lead a 35-member delegation, including government officials and industrialists, is scheduled to return on the 11th of April. Well, as the political face-off over Rahul Gandhi's Veer Savarkar insult continues, reactions have been coming into the comments that Rahul Gandhi made. In fact, the BJP has taken out a yatra across Maharashtra to protest Rahul Gandhi's comments, and Republic TV has spoken to Bhagwat Karad of the BJP.
वीरा सावरकर जी जो स्वतंत्र सेनानी थे, उनके सम्मान में, उनके गौरव में आज यात्रा निकली है। ये यात्रा महाराष्ट्र के मुख्यमंत्री एकनाथ राव जी शिंदे साहब और हमारे उप मुख्यमंत्री माननीय देवेंद्र जी फडणवीस, इन्होंने आदेश दिया। उसके बाद हर विधानसभा क्षेत्र में 288 विधानसभा क्षेत्र में यात्रा है। वीरा सावरकर जी का अपमान कांग्रेस के ज्येष्ठ नेता राहुल गांधी बार बार करते हैं। वो कहते हैं मैं गांधी हूँ, मैं माफी नहीं मांगता, लेकिन वीरा सावरकर जी एक सच्चे देशभक्त थे। उनको काली पानी की सजा हुई थी, उतना ही नहीं तो अंधेरे कोठरी में उनको सजा हुई थी।
शरद पवार का इसी बीच जो है एक स्टेटमेंट सामने आया है। शरद पवार कह रहे हैं कि उनका बलिदान जो है भुलाया नहीं जा सकता, लेकिन
शरद पवार जी महाविकास आघाड़ी के ज्येष्ठ नेता है, तो शरद पवार जी ने ये राहुल गांधी को समझना चाहिए। राहुल गांधी कांग्रेस के नेता होते भी तो एक उनकी महाविकास आघाड़ी है, और महाराष्ट्र में आने के बाद ऐसे वक्तव्य उन्होंने नहीं करना चाहिए। उतना ही नहीं तो उद्धव जी ठाकरे जो बाला साहब के जो चिरंजीव है, उनको भी समझाना चाहिए।
इस प्रकार से उद्धव ठाकरे की मुश्किलें बढ़ गई थी राहुल गांधी के स्टेटमेंट के बाद, आपको लगता है कि ये बचाव की प्रक्रिया एक राजनीतिक स्टेटमेंट है सेटल ऑन होने के लिए?
वो वैसा ही लगता है। शरद पवार जी बहुत होशियार और एक्सपीरियंस नेता है और ये राजनीतिक स्टेटमेंट हो सकता है अगर उनको सही दिल। तो हमने तो आह्वान किया था कि उन लोगों के नेता ने इधर आना और सावरकर जी का अभिवादन करना।
All right. In fact, the CPM has, however, come out in the defense of Rahul Gandhi, saying that the opposition must stand united over this. Let's listen into another reaction that we got.
NCP chief Sharad Pawar has come forward and said that there is no point in, castigating or chiding Savarkar because he has done a lot and we cannot ignore his sacrifices. How do you react? Because the Congress is stern. They say that they do not believe in Savarkar and their stand is firm. What do you say?
My first reaction is that there is no point now to make it a big issue. On Savarkar, various political streams, political parties and political leaders have the right to keep their own opinion. I have my own opinion. My party has. Savarkar cannot be treated as a patriot as far as we are concerned. And we are really shameful that Savarkar, had a history of writing a letter of pardon to the British colonial masters. And I have read those letters. The language was so shameful for the country. So in that way, we believe that Savarkar is not a person to be highlighted as a great hero. We, the Communist Party, sincerely believe that to make the issue as a big issue now is not politically needed now. Now the needful is that all those political forces who are trying to come together to save democracy, they should unite together and march forward. In that onward march, bringing in Savarkar issue as a big issue will be only helping the interests of the Sangh Parivar. We don't share that view.
Now, in fact, days after Sharad Pawar's comment, the Congress party has now hit back, saying that the NCP is allowed to have its own ideology, but the Congress will stick to its perspective.
See, what Sharad Pawar ji has said, it's correct in his own way, but we are also correct in our own ways. And one thing is this, that Savarkar was not for Gau Seva. He said that cow is a cattle, cow is an animal. It should not be equated with the humans. There I find that he is scientific. He has a scientific approach toward this. But this is also fact that he tendered apology many times. This is also fact that he drew salary and pension from the British government. So this also cannot be denied. And whatever the stand Sharad Pawar ji is holding, of course it's his choice to hold that. But the fact is this.
All right, so that is the war of words that we are seeing between the BJP and the opposition over the comments that Rahul Gandhi made on Veer Savarkar. A look now at top international news this morning. A well-known Russian military blogger was killed in an explosion at a cafe in St. Petersburg Sunday in what appeared to be an audacious attack on high-profile pro-Kremlin figure. Now, according to officials, Vladimir Tartarsky died when a blast tore through the cafe where he was appearing as a guest of a pro-war group called Cyberfront Z. Now, authorities said that they were treating the case as suspected murder. The Taiwanese President Tsai Ing-wen arrived in Belize on Sunday as part of Taipei's efforts to reaffirm its diplomatic ties as a self-governing island with its remaining allies in Central America. Tsai's visit to Belize comes shortly after Honduras announced that it would break ties with Taiwan and switch its support to China, joining Nicaragua, Panama, El Salvador and Costa Rica. Finland's right-wing opposition National Coalition Party leader Petteri Orpo on Sunday claimed victory in the Nordic country's tightly fought parliamentary elections with 93.4% of the votes counted. His party looked set to get more seats in parliament, 48 out of 200 in total, with 20.5% support among votes cast. Around 500 people have gathered near a Ukrainian Orthodox church in Moscow after a Ukrainian soldier was assaulted there. The UOC MP said that the church was being stormed. The incident came after a Kyiv court ordered a leading priest to be put under house arrest on Saturday after Ukraine's top security agency said that he was suspected of justifying Russian aggression, a criminal case. Ukrainian authorities have stated that Sunday, March the 2nd, Russia had shelled the city of Kostianivka in Donetsk. Now, according to Andrei Yermak, the head of Ukraine's presidential administration, 6 people died and 8 people were injured. The Ukrainian president Sunday expressed his condolences to families and friends of 6 people who were killed in shelling in Donetsk region and 2 people killed in the Konotok district. The death count from the devastating and destructive tornadoes that have swept to the American South and Midwest has risen to 32, while parts of the southern plains braced for the possibility of their own round of severe weather. According to officials, the storm, which broke into America's homes, came on Friday and till now has crushed homes and businesses, ripped roofs off buildings, splintered trees and sent vehicles flying. Illinois Governor J.P. Pritzker has taken stock of the damage caused by tornadoes which hit the area and met with workers Sunday as cleanup efforts are underway. Meanwhile, officials in Illinois have praised the speed at which both emergency services and local people rushed to help those affected after storms and tornadoes wreaked devastation in the area, which took the lives of at least 27 people. The Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, in a telephonic conversation, told the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken that it is up to the court to decide the fate of the Wall Street Journal's detained reporter. Lavrov stressed that Gershkovich had been detained red-handed when he was receiving secret data and was collecting data constituting a state secret, acting under the guise of journalists. Asa Hutchinson, who recently completed 2 terms as Arkansas's governor, said Sunday that he will seek the Republican presidential nomination, positioning himself as an alternative to Donald Trump, just days after the former president was indicted by a grand jury in New York. Hutchinson said Trump should drop out of the race, arguing that the office is more important than any individual.
Well, I do. First of all, the office is more important than any individual person. And so for the sake of the office of the presidency, I do think that's too much of a sideshow and distraction, and he needs to be able to concentrate on his due process, and there is a presumption of innocence.
Now, with 93.4% of the votes counted so far, Finland's right-wing party has claimed a huge victory in the general elections. The Prime Minister Marin has conceded defeat in these elections.
Finland's main conservative party claimed victory in a parliamentary election in an extremely tight 3-way race.
It was a great victory for Kokoomus. Finnish people, they want change. And that's why Kokoomus is the biggest party in Finland and in the parliament now.
The centre-right National Coalition Party claimed victory with nearly all of the votes counted, coming out on top at 20.8. Expressing joy over victory, the NCP party leader Petteri Orpo also said that he wanted NATO allies to know Finland would be a security provider to the alliance.
First to Ukraine, we stand by you, with you. We cannot accept this terrible war, and we do all what need to help Ukrainian people because they fight for us. This is clear, and the message to Putin is go away from Ukraine because you will lose.
Agency report, Republic TV.
And on the other side, it's an open threat by Nitish Kumar's Neta says will slit throats of those who oppose Nitish. And the BJP takes on Rahul Gandhi in an unrelenting attack.
रामनवमी जुलूस में उपद्रव के बाद नालंदा जिले में अभी भी स्थिति तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। हमारे साथ ये देखिए ये महिला बटालियन है जो कि मार्च कर रही है। बिल्कुल कर्फ्यू सा नजारा है। देख सकते हैं कि आसपास के जो दुकान हैं सभी बंद हैं। स्थिति जो है तनावपूर्ण बनी हुई है। एक युवक के मौत के बाद 2 लोग जख्मी हुए हैं। 62 लोग की गिरफ्तारी हो चुकी है। धारा 144 पूरे नालंदा जिले में लगा हुआ है।
The BJP Shiv Sena Savarkar Gaurav Yatra has already been commenced, and we can see the Chief Minister of Maharashtra Eknath Shinde who has been present in the same yatra, and this is against the statement of Rahul Gandhi. We remember in the last press conference where Rahul Gandhi has stated that he is Gandhi and not Savarkar, and Gandhi never apologized. Right after which we saw there was a press conference that was called in by Chief Minister Eknath Shinde and Deputy Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, clearly condemning the statement of Rahul Gandhi, and there they have announced that there will be a Savarkar Gaurav Yatra across Maharashtra. So it has been started from today. It will go on till 8th of April.
Troubled with the words that they've used, Mr. Something. Are you troubled with the words? I'm asking.
And that is Christian Michel. First visuals on your scene. Christian, would you want to speak? Christian, would you give facts to India? Chidambaram has been arrested right now. That's P. Chidambaram right now. On there it is. He's been arrested. Mr. Bajaj, point to it. Because it was a case, I believe, that was closed by the police itself. They're trying to stop us.
NIA की टीम बाजे को लेकर यहाँ पहुंची है क्योंकि एविडेंसेस डिस्ट्रॉय किए गए थे इसी नतीजे। Very good afternoon. You're watching live and breaking at 12 p.m. I'm Suesha Sound. We get you all the top stories we're tracking for you this afternoon. Also the tension that is prevalent in Sasaram, and of course how the parliament proceedings are continuing. That and much more in this edition. First, a quick check of the headlines. Tensions continue to simmer in Bihar as yet another blast has been reported in Sasaram.
नीतीश कुमार के कान को अड़ाए रखिए। नीतीश कुमार का विरोध तो हमारे सामने कोई करता नहीं, करे तो हम गर्दन में उतार देंगे। इसमें तो
Open threat by Nitish's Neta says will slit the throats of those who oppose Nitish. Disqualified Rahul to challenge his conviction. Congress asks cadre to gather.
अपने परिवार वालों के साथ और कुछ मुख्यमंत्रियों के साथ आप आज सूरत जा रहे हैं। क्या आप न्याय प्रक्रिया पर प्रेशर डालना चाहते हैं?
BJP takes on Rahul Gandhi in an unrelenting attack, asks if the Gandhis are above the law. Parliament logjam continues. Opposition holds key strategy meet. Explosion at a cafe in Russia's St. Petersburg. Prominent Russian military blogger killed. And first up, we cut across to breaking news that is coming from Karnataka, where the battle is underway in the poll-bound state, rather intensifying, and Congress ticket aspirants and cadres are fighting outside the KPCC office. Congress workers threatened to consume poison if a ticket was not given to their candidate. A fight also broke out over the selection of candidates for Tarikri Assembly constituency. Madewala community protests demanding a ticket for H.M. Gopala Krishna. In fact, another ticket aspirant is Srinivas,
who is set to be a front runner in this race. Prajwal is joining us live on the broadcast as we stay with those pictures of protests outside the Congress office. Prajwal, certainly not good for the party, as Karnataka is an important state for them, and this infighting could lead to further dent in those chances as far as the party moving forward is concerned. But what is this fight about as far as giving a ticket to their aspirant is concerned?
Suyesh, first and foremost, we need to learn that Tarikere Assembly constituency is in Chikmagaluru district, and there are two prominent leaders from this constituency. H.M. Gopalakrishna is one of them as well, and he hails from the prominent Madiwala community, and he is said to be a very close associate of the KPCC president, Mr. D.K. Shivkumar as well, and therefore now he also has the support of the Madiwala community, because this particular community is dominant in the number of voters who are present there as well. And therefore H.M. Gopalakrishna has been seeking an audience with the Congress state high command, but so far it was not given to him as well, and therefore now the workers, the Congress workers, mainly supporters of H.M. Gopalakrishna, are mainly going ahead and pressurizing the Congress state leadership, stating that ticket will have to be given ticket will have to be given to H.M. Gopalakrishna too. But on the other hand, we are also seeing that Srinivas is also a front runner from this particular assembly constituency, because he has been largely associated with the Congress and has been seen actively working in the region for the past 4 to 5 years too, and therefore his supporters are also going ahead and demanding this ticket. And now initially they were fighting it out in the districts as well. We recently saw that in Chikmagaluru district on Saturday there was a massive ruckus which broke out, where the KPCC spokesperson was manhandled, he was beaten up and kicked as well, and now this has spilled onto the streets and has finally reached Bengaluru as well, because it is not only the Chikmagaluru Assembly constituency which is facing the problems, but Chikmagaluru as a whole district, around 7 to 8 assembly constituencies which has there. The entire Congress unit in the Chikmagaluru district is divided over the distribution of tickets for their supporters as well. So this is something which has happened, and in the meanwhile the Congress has now gone on to issue a notice to all the Congress cadres, workers and as well as ticket aspirants, stating them not to make any scene in front of the office, or else to go on and make derogatory remarks on social media, otherwise action will be taken and tickets will not be given tickets will not be given to the leaders that they want the party to go ahead and elect. So this is something which will be watched by the KPCC here in Karnataka, and this is happening in the backdrop of now the leader of opposition Siddaramaiah, who will be arriving there in the next 25 to 30 minutes, and also the KPCC president D.K. Shivkumar as well, and these workers are stating that they will go ahead and consume poison if ticket is not promised to H.M. Gopalakrishna.
In fact, Prajwal, stay on with us. In continuation to the point that you're making, let's quickly flash those details on our screens also of the breaking news that is coming in, as Prajwal is telling us that how leader of opposition Siddaramaiah is to leave for New Delhi this evening. Siddaramaiah will be meeting AICC leaders in the national capital ahead of release of the second list, and the second list of the Congress is to be released after the CEC meet. State Congress leaders are also to head to New Delhi today, and the top leadership in the state will be discussing Rahul Gandhi's rally on the 9th of April in Kollar. So certainly further planning is underway, Prajwal, for which Siddaramaiah and other heads of Karnataka are to leave for New Delhi to meet with the top brass and also plan Rahul Gandhi's rally on the 9th of April. Throw more light on that, please.
Absolutely, Suyesh. Now, today Siddaramaiah, the leader of the opposition, will be leaving at 7:15 from the Kempegowda International Airport, and he will be landing at around 10:15 to 10:30 at in New Delhi. And tomorrow he will be meeting the top AICC leaders, which also includes KC Venugopal, Jairam Ramesh. He will also be accompanied by the AICC General Secretary Randeep Singh Surjewala. Now, this is mainly in regard to going ahead and selecting the remaining candidates for the 100 constituencies as well. because 124 tickets for 124 assembly constituencies has already been released by the Congress now, and the remaining 100 constituencies will have to be taken up. And this is turning out to be a very difficult ball game for the Congress in the state of Karnataka, because in 30 to 40 of the assembly constituencies there were only single candidates as well. So that was not turning out to be a problem. But in the remaining around 65 to 60 assembly constituencies is somewhat has become a headache for the Congress, because in some of the constituencies there are over 7 aspirants. In some of the assembly constituencies there are 9 as well. And in Tarikere you are seeing there are 6 there are 6 aspirants as well. And in Chikmagaluru alone it was 11 aspirants. So there is also an insider versus outsider debate which is going on, and also we have largely been throwing light on the infighting within the Congress, where supporters of Siddaramaiah are stating that they need tickets. Supporters of DK Shivkumar are fighting with supporters of Siddaramaiah, stating that they have been the ones who have been loyal to the party and have made sure that they will go on and make inroads within these districts too. So this has turned out to be a huge headache as well. And recently, when the screening committee of the Congress was conducted for 3 days, there was no sort of common conclusion that the top party leadership came to, and therefore now they are being summoned to New Delhi, and Siddaramaiah, the leader of the opposition, will be heading he'll be heading tonight to New Delhi, and further decisions will be taken as well. But we are expecting that apart from the second list, there will also be a third list of the Congress, because the party cannot go ahead and finalize all the 100 candidates at one go, because there is still a lot of confusion and chaos within the Congress party in Karnataka ahead of the assembly elections.
All right, important decisions to be taken there, Prajwal, and all eyes on what the Congress eventually decides. But keeping the party cadres happy, and also ensuring that they don't disappoint those working at the grassroots level is also important. Important decisions to be made in the national capital, and most importantly, Rahul Gandhi's rally in Kolar on the 9th is also something that they will be planning in great detail. For the moment, Prajwal, many thanks for joining us and getting us all these details. And shifting focus to the national capital now, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be inaugurating the Diamond Jubilee celebrations of CBI. Prime Minister will be inaugurating the newly constructed office complexes of the CBI in Shillong, Pune and Nagpur. Now, apart from these, he will also release a postage stamp and commemorative coin marking the celebration. During the program, an investiture ceremony for recipients of President's Police Medal for Distinguished Service and Gold Medal for Best Investigating Officers of the CBI will be held, wherein Prime Minister Modi will present medals to the recipients. He will also unveil CBI's new Twitter handle. CBI had made its debut on Twitter in October last year with a blue tick during the Interpol General Assembly. The purpose of the handle was also to share news about the event. And those are live pictures coming in from Vigyan Bhavan.
करते हैं माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का सतर्क एवं भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत के प्रति समर्पित माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का हम सब हृदय से अभिनंदन करते हैं। मंच पर स्वागत है राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार श्री अजीत डोभाल, केंद्रीय कार्मिक, लोक शिकायत एवं पेंशन राज्य मंत्री डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह एवं भारत के कैबिनेट सचिव श्री राजीव गौबा जी का। केंद्रीय अन्वेषण ब्यूरो की हीरक जयंती के अवसर पर इस सभागार में उपस्थित सभी गणमान्य अतिथियों का हार्दिक अभिनंदन है। इस कार्यक्रम की वेबकास्टिंग सीबीआई के देश भर के 67 शाखाओं एवं देश के प्रत्येक राज्यों के पुलिस महानिदेशक कार्यालय, भ्रष्टाचार निरोधक ब्यूरो एवं सतर्कता कार्यालयों में प्रसारित की जा रही है। माननीय, अप्रैल 1963 में अपनी स्थापना के उपरांत इन 60 वर्षों में सीबीआई ने एक बहुआयामी, बहुविषयक सेंट्रल पुलिस लॉ एनफोर्समेंट एजेंसी के रूप में अपनी एक अलग पहचान बनाई है। ब्यूरो अपने कार्य में और अपने अधिकारियों एवं कर्मियों के व्यक्तिगत आचरण में भी भ्रष्टाचार के प्रति जीरो टॉलरेंस की नीति का पालन करने के लिए हमेशा प्रतिबद्ध है। कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत करते हुए हम निदेशक सीबीआई श्री सुबोध कुमार जायसवाल से अनुरोध करते हैं कि वे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी का अभिनंदन हीरक जयंती स्मृति चिन्ह देकर करें। धन्यवाद महोदय। निदेशक सीबीआई श्री सुबोध कुमार जायसवाल से अनुरोध है कि वे कृपया स्वागत संबोधन दें।
Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, Honorable National Security Advisor Shri Ajit Doval ji Kirti Chakra, Honorable MOSPP Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, distinguished Cabinet Ministers and Union Ministers of State, respected Cabinet Secretary Shri Rajiv Gauba ji, Honorable Judges of the Delhi High Court, distinguished Secretaries to the Government of India, distinguished Directors Generals of Police, Chiefs of Central Police Organizations, Heads of State Anti-Corruption Bureaus, respected former Directors of Central Bureau of Investigation, senior colleagues in service, members of media and press, ladies and gentlemen, students from various colleges in India. Namaskar. It gives me immense pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to all of you as we launch the year-long celebration of the Diamond Jubilee functions of the CBI. It is my honor and privilege on behalf of all ranks of CBI to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, whose singular administrative philosophy of zero tolerance to corruption in governance and society at large has been inspirational. Prime Minister, sir, your gracious presence to inaugurate our Diamond Jubilee celebrations and the Chintan Shivir that follows here today is an honor to the organization. The Bureau has evolved from an agency combating corruption to a multidisciplinary investigative and prosecuting organization of international repute. The Bureau has made a significant contribution in cleaning up of the financial systems in the country by making valuable recommendations which emerged out of its punitive and preventive role during investigations and operations. Systemic changes have taken place in governance procedures across sectors as an outcome of the investigative efforts of this organization. This was possible only due to the hard work, commitment, and belief of officers and men who went before. The edifice of this institution is built on the rock-solid foundation of three values of industry, impartiality, and integrity given to us by our founding director, Shri D.P. Kohli, IP 1931. These values remain the lodestar that guides the organization today. Our predecessors in the Bureau steadfastly ensured that skills, knowledge, and attitudes are passed down the generations. No wonder the Bureau enjoys the confidence of the judiciary as well as the common man and victims of crime who invariably demand its services to undo wrongs. This Bureau has sustained and continues to endure simply because of its robust systems and procedures and a band of officers and men who ensure that they deliver on the faith reposed in them by the society at large. 21 such officers who have served and are serving in CBI will be conferred with the President's Police Medal for Distinguished Services and the Best Investigating Officer Award by the Honorable Prime Minister for their dedicated services to the nation. Sir, the Bureau investigates and prosecutes its criminal cases. Over the years, the organization has developed mechanisms to introspect periodically and has resiliently incorporated best practices. The future vision of the CBI is to ensure absorption of cutting-edge technology necessary to fast-track investigations and prosecutions without losing focus on the established systems and procedures. Sir, the organization necessarily has to draw on high-quality professional talent, weed out the deadwood ruthlessly, and build a robust and well-trained team of officers to meet future challenges. Towards this end, in our Diamond Jubilee year, we have sought to pursue excellence in all activities, be it investigation, prosecution, capacity building, or administration. Our proposed roadmap for the Diamond Jubilee celebrations spread over the year includes active efforts to reach out to various government departments, organizations, as well as citizens at large in order to increase awareness about punitive and preventive vigilance initiatives. To upgrade our standard operating procedures of investigation, technology, and forensics, the organization aims to proactively engage with eminent institutions of the country. enhanced capacity building initiatives on anti-corruption and emerging crimes for domestic law enforcement agencies and friendly countries are also in our plans. Of investigation, technology and forensics, the organization aims to proactively engage with eminent institutions of the country. Enhanced capacity building initiatives on anti-corruption and emerging crimes for domestic law enforcement agencies and friendly countries are also in our plans. I once again welcome all and eagerly look forward to an enlightening address by our Honorable Prime Minister. Jai Hind.
धन्यवाद महोदय। हीरक जयंती वर्ष पिछली उपलब्धियों का गौरव और आगे की लंबी यात्रा की आशा। आइए देखें केंद्रीय अन्वेषण ब्यूरो पर एक लघु फिल्म।
प्रशासन में भ्रष्टाचार के उन्मूलन और सत्यनिष्ठा को स्थापित करने के लिए लौह पुरुष सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल जी के संकल्प से दिल्ली स्पेशल पुलिस एस्टेब्लिशमेंट एक्ट पारित हुआ। सन 1962 में श्री लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी ने प्रशासन में भ्रष्टाचार की बढ़ती हुई घटनाओं से निपटने एवं सुझाव देने के लिए कस्तूरी रंगा संथानम कमेटी नियुक्त की। कमेटी की संस्तुतियों पर अमल करते हुए भारत सरकार ने 1 अप्रैल 1963 को रेजोल्यूशन द्वारा केंद्रीय अन्वेषण ब्यूरो अर्थात सीबीआई की स्थापना की। सीबीआई के प्रथम डायरेक्टर डीपी कोहली ने सीबीआई अधिकारियों का मार्गदर्शन करते हुए कहा, जनता आपसे कार्यकुशलता और सत्यनिष्ठा दोनों में उच्चतम स्तर की अपेक्षा करती है। उस विश्वास को बनाए रखना है। प्रारंभ से ही सीबीआई ने अपने आदर्श वाक्य उद्यमिता, निष्पक्षता एवं सत्यनिष्ठा के पथ पर चलते हुए अत्यंत जटिल एवं संवेदनशील मामलों की जांच में सत्य को उजागर कर देश की विभिन्न संस्थाओं और जनता का विश्वास अर्जित किया है। माननीय सर्वोच्च न्यायालय, माननीय उच्च न्यायालयों, केंद्र व राज्य सरकार तथा लोकपाल एवं केंद्रीय सतर्कता आयोग सीवीसी ने निरंतर राष्ट्रीय व अंतर्राष्ट्रीय महत्व के संगीन आपराधिक मामलों को सौंपकर सीबीआई की जांच प्रणाली पर अपना विश्वास व्यक्त किया है। भ्रष्टाचार उन्मूलन और सार्वजनिक जीवन में सत्यनिष्ठा बनाए रखने के लिए सीबीआई पर प्रिवेंटिव विजिलेंस एवं प्यूनिटिव विजिलेंस की मुख्य जिम्मेदारियां हैं। देश के आर्थिक स्वास्थ्य को सुनिश्चित करने के लिए सीबीआई बैंक धोखाधड़ी और आर्थिक अपराधों की गहन जांच कर अपना महत्वपूर्ण योगदान देती रही है। सीबीआई ने अनेक आर्थिक अपराधियों को न्यायपूर्वक दंड दिलाकर देश की आर्थिक प्रणाली में विश्वास बढ़ाया है। सीबीआई केंद्र सरकार के प्रतिष्ठानों से जुड़े साइबर क्राइम के मामलों की जांच एवं G7 24/7 के नेटवर्क से अंतर्राष्ट्रीय डेटा संरक्षण के लिए अधिकृत नोडल एजेंसी है। देश की उत्कृष्ट जांच एजेंसी सीबीआई पर गंभीर मामलों की जांच, अनुसंधान एवं उनके सफल अभियोजन का दायित्व है। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सहयोग के अंतर्गत इंटरपोल की नोडल एजेंसी के रूप में कार्य करने वाली सीबीआई आज देश के विभिन्न पुलिस बल के साथ परस्पर समन्वय, प्रशिक्षण एवं रिसर्च के माध्यम से राष्ट्र को सुरक्षित एवं संरक्षित रखने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध है। सीबीआई की वास्तविक शक्ति उसके अनुसंधान एवं अभियोजन अधिकारियों की पेशेवर दक्षता, कर्तव्य के प्रति समर्पण एवं ईमानदारी से ही है। गाजियाबाद स्थित सीबीआई एकेडमी में कड़े प्रशिक्षण में तब कर सीबीआई ऑफिसर्स अपने विशिष्ट दायित्वों के लिए तैयार होते हैं। देश की सभी कानून प्रवर्तन संस्थाओं के लिए सीबीआई की क्राइम मैनुअल एवं मानक संचालन प्रक्रियाएं गोल्ड स्टैंडर्ड मानी जाती हैं। निरंतर परिवर्तित होते आपराधिक परिवेश से निपटने के लिए नवीनतम तकनीकों को अपनाकर सीबीआई ने कई अति विशिष्ट जांच प्रभाग एवं इकाइयां बनाई हैं। सीबीआई के कार्यालयों का नेटवर्क श्रीनगर से तिरुवनंतपुरम एवं गांधीनगर से ईटानगर तक देश के 36 शहरों में स्थित है। सीबीआई के जांच एवं अभियोजन अधिकारियों के बेजोड़ तालमेल, उनके निरंतर प्रशिक्षण व उन्नयन, आधुनिक तकनीकों का तीव्रता से एकीकरण इसे विश्व की एक बेहतरीन इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसी बनाता है। आज सीबीआई का कन्विक्शन रेट करीब 75% है, जो वैश्विक मानकों से तुलनीय है। अंतरराष्ट्रीय एजेंसियों के साथ निकट समन्वय से सीबीआई ने वांछित भगोड़ों की भारत वापसी के लिए ऑपरेशन त्रिशूल, ड्रग संबंधित सूचना आदान प्रदान के लिए ऑपरेशन कर, साइबर अपराधों पर अंकुश लगाने के लिए ऑपरेशन चक्र एवं ऑनलाइन बाल यौन शोषण को रोकने के लिए ऑपरेशन वेग चक्र लॉन्च किए हैं। भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध जीरो टॉलरेंस की प्रतिबद्धता के साथ सीबीआई राष्ट्र सेवा में समर्पित है। 60 वर्षों से लोगों के विश्वास का प्रतीक सीबीआई आजादी के अमृत काल में उत्तरोत्तर उत्कृष्टता के लक्ष्य की ओर अग्रसर है।
भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ एक निर्णायक कालखंड में हिंदुस्तान कदम रखता है।
आज के इस कार्यक्रम में कुल 18 पदाधिकारियों को असाधारण योगदान और विशिष्ट सेवा के लिए राष्ट्रीय पुलिस पदक प्रदान किए जाएंगे। इस पदक को प्रदान करने की घोषणा इन अधिकारियों के सीबीआई में पदस्थापन के दौरान की गई थी। इसके अलावा वर्ष 2019, 2020 व 2021 के लिए परिष्कृत अपराध में असाधारण उत्कृष्ट और पेशेवर जांच करने के लिए 3 सर्वश्रेष्ठ अन्वेषक को स्वर्ण पदक भी प्रदान किए जाएंगे। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से निवेदन है कि वे विजेताओं को अपने कर कमलों से पुरस्कृत कर अनुग्रहित करें। विशिष्ट सेवा के लिए राष्ट्रपति पुलिस पदक डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ पुलिस सिक्किम श्री A.K. सिंह। एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर इंटरपोल श्री M.M. ओबराय। सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस एंटी करप्शन ब्रांच चेन्नई श्री सैयद बजलुल्लाह। एडिशनल डायरेक्टर जनरल ऑफ पुलिस क्रिमिनल इन्वेस्टिगेशन डिपार्टमेंट असम श्री A.Y.V. कृष्णा। इंस्पेक्टर बैंकिंग सिक्योरिटी एंड फ्रॉड सेल मुंबई श्री C.V. पुजारी। सब इंस्पेक्टर सीबीआई एकेडमी गाजियाबाद श्री राजेश सिंह। ज्वाइंट डायरेक्टर सीबीआई चंडीगढ़ जोन श्री विनीत विनायक। Joint Director CBI, Anti-Corruption Headquarters Zone, Shri Manoj Shashidhar. Superintendent of Police Special Crime New Delhi, Shri Kaptan Singh Lochab. Additional Superintendent of Police Anti-Corruption Delhi, Shri Ram Avtar Yadav. Additional Superintendent of Police Anti-Corruption Branch Chandigarh, Srimati Seema Pahuja. Assistant Sub Inspector Special Unit New Delhi, Shri Naresh Kumar. Joint Director CBI, Bhopal Zone, Shri Ramesh Gir. Additional Superintendent of Police Dehradun, Shri Satish Kumar Rathi. Additional Superintendent of Police Anti-Corruption Branch Guwahati, Shri Anil Kumar Yadav. Additional Superintendent of Police Anti-Corruption Branch Gandhinagar, Shri Netram Meena. Assistant Sub Inspector Anti-Corruption Delhi, Shri Bansidhar Bijarnia. Head Constable CBI Headquarters New Delhi, Shri Mehboob Hassan. गोल्ड मेडल फॉर बेस्ट इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ऑफिसर वर्ष 2019 के लिए डिप्टी सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस एंटी करप्शन ब्रांच पटना मिस विभा कुमारी। वर्ष 2020 के लिए एडिशनल सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस स्पेशल क्राइम ब्रांच चेन्नई श्री टी.पी. आनंद कृष्णन। वर्ष 2021 के लिए एडिशनल सुपरिटेंडेंट ऑफ पुलिस एंटी करप्शन ब्रांच मुंबई श्री प्रमोद कुमार। धन्यवाद माननीय। माननीय, सीबीआई की नागपुर, शिलोंग और पुणे स्थित शाखाएं अस्थायी कार्यालय परिसरों से संचालित हो रही थी। सरकार की स्वीकृति से इन शहरों में भी आधुनिक सुविधाओं से लैस ब्रांच ऑफिसेज का निर्माण कार्य पूर्ण हो गया है। हीरक जयंती के उपलक्ष्य पर हम माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से अनुरोध करते हैं कि वो रिमोट का बटन दबाकर इन 3 नवनिर्मित कार्यालय परिसरों का उद्घाटन करें। धन्यवाद माननीय। यह हम सब के लिए हर्ष एवं गौरव का विषय है कि भारत सरकार ने सीबीआई के हीरक जयंती अवसर के स्मरणोत्सव में स्मारक डाक टिकट व स्मारक सिक्का जारी करने की सहर्ष स्वीकृति प्रदान की है। हम माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से अनुरोध करते हैं कि वे अपने समक्ष रखे रिमोट का बटन दबाकर स्मारक डाक टिकट व स्मारक सिक्का जारी कर हमें अनुग्रह करें। धन्यवाद माननीय। एंटी करप्शन व साइबर अपराध विषयों पर जागरूकता बढ़ाने व इससे संबंधित सूचना का प्रसार करने के लिए हीरक जयंती पर सीबीआई सोशल मीडिया प्लेटफॉर्म ट्विटर पर आज डेब्यू कर रहा है। माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से अनुरोध है कि वे अपने समक्ष रखे रिमोट का बटन दबाकर सीबीआई का ट्विटर हैंडल लॉन्च करें। धन्यवाद माननीय। प्रशासनिक कार्यों को व्यवस्थित बनाने, अन्वेषण के मानकों एवं फ्रॉड की रोकथाम में बेहतर मार्गदर्शन व इंटरपोल और इंटरनेशनल पुलिस कोऑपरेशन को सुगम बनाने के उद्देश्य से हीरक जयंती के अवसर पर सीबीआई ने एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन मैनुअल 2023 व विभिन्न सामयिक विषयों पर 3 पुस्तकें बनाई हैं। हम माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से आग्रह करते हैं कि वे उनके समक्ष रखे रिमोट का बटन दबाकर इन मैनुअल व पुस्तकों का विमोचन करें। धन्यवाद माननीय। यहाँ उपस्थित सभी की जानकारी के लिए 3 भागों में तैयार यह सीबीआई एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन मैनुअल 2023 वर्ष 2003 में इसके पूर्व संस्करण को व्यापक संशोधित कर बनाया गया है। इसमें तत्पश्चात हुए प्रशासनिक परिवर्तन, वेलफेयर, राहत और वित्त से संबंधित विषयों की जानकारी समाहित की गई है। एन एल्मनेक ऑन बैंक फ्रॉड्स केस स्टडीज एंड लर्निंग्स किताब सीबीआई द्वारा अन्वेषण किए गए प्रकरणों के गहन विश्लेषण के आधार पर बैंक फ्रॉड के कारणों, रोकथाम एवं निवारण पर जांच एजेंसियों एवं अन्य स्टेक होल्डर्स के लिए महत्वपूर्ण प्रकाश डालती है। इन परस्यूट ऑफ जस्टिस, सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजमेंट्स इन सीबीआई केसेस किताब सीबीआई द्वारा अन्वेषण किए गए एवं अभियोजन में सर्वोच्च न्यायालय द्वारा दिए गए 101 मामलों में ऐतिहासिक निर्णयों का एक संकलन है, जो देश की तमाम इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग एजेंसीज के लिए पथ प्रदर्शक है। ट्रैकिंग क्राइम्स एंड क्रिमिनल्स ग्लोबली किताब तैयार करने के पीछे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी द्वारा इसी वर्ष आयोजित डीजीपी आईजीपी कॉन्फ्रेंस में दिए गए उद्बोधन में प्राप्त मार्गदर्शन है। इस क्रम में सीबीआई हेडक्वार्टर्स में देश के विभिन्न जांच एजेंसियों के 112 एसपी एवं डीआईजी स्तर के अधिकारियों को बुलाकर इंटरनेशनल पुलिस कॉर्पोरेशन के विभिन्न आयामों पर विस्तृत जानकारी दी गई एवं उनसे प्राप्त फीडबैक के आधार पर इस पुस्तक को तैयार किया गया है। देश सेवा एवं भ्रष्टाचार मुक्त भारत के निर्माण के लिए प्रतिबद्ध हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी से अनुरोध है कि वे अपने प्रेरणादायी शब्दों से हमें प्रोत्साहित करें और हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें।
केंद्रीय मंत्रिमंडल के मेरे सहयोगी डॉक्टर जितेंद्र सिंह जी, राष्ट्रीय सुरक्षा सलाहकार श्री अजीत डोवाल जी, कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी, डायरेक्टर सीबीआई, अन्य अधिकारीगण, देवी और सज्जनों, आप सभी को सीबीआई के 60 वर्ष पूरे होने हीरक जयंती के इस अवसर पर बहुत बहुत बधाई। देश की प्रीमियम इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसी के रूप में 60 वर्ष का सफर आपने पूरा किया है। ये 6 दशक निश्चित रूप से अनेक उपलब्धियों के रहे हैं,